Hello people, welcome to yet another episode of CITAM Church Online. Now recently we did a few videos on my God-given skill, and I just figured, can we have practical examples of people who can share with us their journey about their God-given skill and to help us understand the practical bit of it as opposed to the theory bit of it. On set I have amazing people, a lady and a gentleman, and they'll just share their story as we start off. Welcome guys to CITAM Church Online.
Thank you.
Karibuni sana. So we'll just have you introduce yourselves and just tell our audience who you are and how did you get to discover your God-given skill. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, my name is Allencia Ongeti, and I'm a pastor, a creative pastor, and it's been a journey, and a very good journey. I studied law, so I studied law in JQuat, and I finished my degree, and then at some point as I was still studying law, I just got to kind of feel like God is calling me into something different, like into ministry. And so well, it was such a long transition, but I did finish school. Then I ended up doing sort of like a ministry program, and eventually ended up to Bible school where I got to study to be a creative pastor.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Mutua Matheka. I'm a photographer focusing on architecture and travel. But this is not where I started. I started as an architect, studied architecture, graduated, practiced for a few years before taking the plunge to go full-time into photography. My focus is on seeing African cities represented in a way that's a bit different from what I've seen online, and that's what my work is focused on. Yeah.
Awesome, amazing. Now, at what point did you guys get to know that you have a skill in creatives, you have a skill in photography? At what point exactly did you guys discover that? You can start with your Allencia.
So I was, I'd say, around my final year in uni. That's when, let's say like post being saved, like I grew up in a Christian family and I went to church and everything, but didn't just have that like personal relationship where you just really get to be transformed and walk with Jesus. And so before that I studied law, and like I worked so hard and everything just to get the grades, you know, just to pass. Like that was my objective at the end of the day. I just want to pass. I just don't want to get a supplementary, and that was it. But then now finding myself like in Christ and really walking with God, that's when I started to discover, oh, actually, like these are the things that I'm passionate about. This is what I really love. I love people. I love worships, leading other people in worship, and just seeing people worship God in freedom and just being themselves, like who God has created them to be, and worship with that kind of freedom. And so I finished school and I was struggling with that. I even tried to work in law firms for a bit, but it was just such a struggle for me. And then eventually I was just like, you know what, this is what I love, and so this is what I want to pursue. And I even had people in my life just speak over me and be like, I feel like God is actually calling you into this. I feel like these are your strengths. This is what you should be doing.
So for you it was more of you struggled at some point and you are passionate about some things.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. I was passionate about other things, like completely different things compared to what I had studied and what I was doing.
Wow, interesting.
So my story is a bit different because I always knew that I loved anything that is artistic. From when the earliest, at least from the reports, I always share this story because my mom is the one who says from when I was 3 years old, I was coloring. I was, and not, I mean, every kid colors, but I would like to think that my coloring,
in an architectural way,
I'd like to believe that my coloring was reminiscent of the next Van Gogh or something like that. But anyway, yeah, so she figured that this guy loves coloring, and she made sure. Growing up, I don't think there was any time that I could be more than 5 meters away from art equipment, whether it was paint brushes, paper, I had paper that was taller than me. So I could actually trace myself on the paper. Like, art was just how I grew up.
Yeah.
My mother used to be an artist, but I think, you know, daily work, she's a teacher. So when she went to study in university, she did a degree in, what is that, education? I think so, in education. So her art life, I discovered much later in life that she was an artist. So it made sense. But for me, it's like the art forms are the ones that kept changing. One of the reasons that I absolutely loved architecture was the idea of creating. It was like I draw a house and then the house becomes a reality. To me, that was a really exciting thing. So I've always loved all art forms. Even now, I think it's photography, but 10 years from now, what will it be? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just know it will probably be something artistic. So I've realized that for me, that's how I knew that it was definitely my gift. Like anything that I will try my hand at, that was a creative thing, it came to me a lot easier than other things. And so I just needed, in fact for me, I just need to focus enough on something and it will succeed. And that's usually now my struggle, like deciding, okay, it's going to be this and just focus on it. If you ask my mom right now, like, she's happy with me, but her disappointment will be like, you have so many artistic talents. You deciding to just focus on photography is like you're just shortchanging yourself. You could be the best painter, you could be the best photographer at the same time. You used to draw, because I used to draw with pencil.
Yeah.
So she's always like, what happened to your drawing? What happened to your painting? You've just now focused on photography. And yes, it's good, but you have so many other things. So she's like never fully satisfied. She just knows that I can do more.
Yeah.
And she doesn't settle for me thinking that I can only do one thing.
Even to date?
Even to date.
Wow.
Like she still, when I go home, she still says, so by the way, do you still paint? And I'm like, Mom, I don't have time to paint anymore. She's like, what do you mean? Time, she always has this saying that time, we never have time, we always create time.
Never have time.
That's a good
We
one.
always create time.
That's a really good
Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
I'd like, both of you guys are creatives.
Yeah.
And there's something that, as you guys were sharing your story, you've brought up, apprenticeship. You had somebody who walked with you throughout that journey when you discovered that this is the area that I'm skilled in. For you, Mutua, you've talked about your mom.
Yeah.
Can you speak to someone? What can you tell someone who doesn't have anyone to work with them? It's a new phase for them. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to say this is the norm. Like they've studied, for you studied architecture. For them, they probably studied something different. Allencia, you studied law. What would you tell this person who doesn't have anyone to work with them? And how can they find somebody to work with them? How can they know that this is the right person? Yeah.
What I'm going to say for someone now, I feel like, I've always felt like the time that we're in the world right now, we can do so much more with so much less. The idea of having someone work with you, 10 years ago that could mean literally.
Yeah.
But now it doesn't have to. And I say this specifically for people who feel, because we have to acknowledge that there are people who feel like they need physical, someone 3D guidance.
Literally working with them.
And there are others who might not.
Yeah.
Or there are others who might waste so much time doing nothing because they're waiting to have someone actually work with them, which might not be necessary. I found a lot of, when I was growing up, yes, my mother guided me, but at the end of the day, it was, I did enjoy what I was doing enough that I actually did it. She found one of her friends to like become my art tutor, and I'd meet this friend of hers like once a week, show her all my drawings for the week, and she will criticize them.
Wow.
But then when you look at the other side of things, is that my mom also enrolled me in piano lessons when I was a kid, but I used to skive those lessons. So she gave me someone to guide me.
Yeah.
I might have been a piano maestro by now.
Yeah.
Who knows? But then I was not interested, and so I skived those lessons. So what I'm trying to say is that the interest is as equally important as the guidance.
Yeah.
So
Oh, wow.
if someone is interested and they're really, really interested, I don't want them to not do anything just because they haven't found anyone. Now with the internet, we are in the best age of time, because with the internet, there are so many even mentorship opportunities online where there are like step-by-step classes and guidance to doing the things. Our field, for me, photography is a very practical thing. You can read forever, but if you're doing nothing, it's really useless. It doesn't matter. You can have a mentor, but still, if they have to be the ones pushing you, they will drop you because it's you being helped. So what I want to say is that if anyone is interested in something, the first step I do now is to go on Google and just say starting out as a photographer. Then they'll see the steps that you need. First thing, probably it will be get a camera. Without the tool, it will be almost impossible to do the skill. Then the second thing will be start taking pictures. Now this is where someone might be like, okay, I have the camera, I want to take the pictures, what do I do? That information is online. Start with the actual learning, and that's why for me I felt like school was important, in that you get used to actually learning and taking advice from someone else. So once you see, if you want to learn this is what you need to know. You need to know this f-stop, whether it's exposure, all these things, then apply them. So read 1 hour of something, go and apply it for like 10 hours. Come back and read another 1 hour, apply it for 10 hours. Read another hour, apply it for 10 hours. When this is happening, when I started photography, I intentionally put even all my bad work that I started back then is still online, and I left it there for a reason, because I knew in the future I want to look at some of my older websites and see, okay, look at how bad this was. Oh my goodness, I don't even know what I was thinking. And I did, and they're still online. And I remember I started a daily photography exercise.
Oh, wow.
Where I'd see a challenge online, and the challenge will come out every 24 hours. There's a challenge, and in 24 hours I need to have photographed, I need to have done post-processing if I'm doing, and I need to have uploaded online and shared.
That's a lot of discipline.
Yes.
It takes a
and you have
lot
to
of
do that, and the
discipline to
idea
do
was
that,
that it was a 365 year, 1 year
What?
of doing this every single day, and it's
Wow.
not you who decides what to shoot. So you're not the one who, like, you can choose an easy subject, or I really like doing this. No. So I had to have my camera with me all the time when I was employed. Every time my lunch breaks will be out thinking the assignment of the day is to shoot this. How do I do this? How do I do this? Lunchtime I'm spending it looking for the shots. As I go home in the evening, I'm spending it trying to, if I see shots on the way, I have my camera and I can take those shots. So what I'm saying, it's up to you, and then the internet is there to almost be like our hand. Put yourself in a position where people can see your work. That can come with judgment, but it can also come with a lot of growth.
Yeah. Okay. I think Mutua raised a very good point on that. Like it's kind of, it goes together. So what he was talking about was really like kind of like always working and developing your skill, and it goes together with like what you mentioned about like finding like someone you can work with. And I think like for me, I would say be in community. Being in community, number one, helps you, it challenges you. Like if you have a good community around you, people you can always talk to, and people who see you and they know, okay, this is like, they know your story and they know your journey and where you're at. So they kind of also hold you accountable. And also knowing that I have this kind of community, they know. So they know if, let's say for Mutua, you know, I've just gotten into photography. So they're seeing what you're up to and what you're doing. So it keeps you at always developing and working on your skill. And as you, because a skill is, you have it, like you said, you have it. You can get like a mentor, someone who works with you, but at the end of the day, like he was saying, you've got to work on it. So your mentor will be there, but you have to do the work. And I think, like you said, we live in a very good era right now, we have a lot of information online. You don't even necessarily need someone who will teach you, oh, do this, do this. You can read everything online. We just need to be like a proactive generation. And let's just not sit lazy and saying, okay, so if God has just called me into creatives and I want to be a worship pastor, and so I'll just sit there and wait to be a worship pastor, you know. What are you going to do as a worship pastor? What am I going to do about that? What am I going to work on my skill? What does that entail? What does it look like? Okay, is it vocals? So how am I going to develop my vocals? Well, find out how you can do that and keep doing it. What else do I need to grow as a worship pastor, as a creative pastor? I need to grow in my leadership because I'll be leading other people. How can I develop my leadership skills? Find out how does that look like, and keep working on it every day. And being in community really helps you with that, because you keep talking to people and they see how you're growing, and they ask you questions, you know, and you tell them, you share what you're learning. And so yeah, I think community and developing your skill at the same time is very good. Yeah,
I like that. One thing I was speaking about your conversation is discipline, because very many young people will find, oh, you know, I don't have internet, or like in Kenya, I don't have bundles, or I don't know how to get Wi-Fi, oh, I need to do this now in terms of using the internet. But I think going out of your space and out of your way, getting out of your comfort zone and just learning it yourself, because you have that desire anyway, and it's God who has put it inside you. So what I'm picking from you guys is discipline, like, and consistency. Like, be consistent on what it is you want to achieve.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this episode of CITAM Church Online. I'm sure you guys have learned quite a ton of stuff. Myself, I have also learned quite a couple of things. Next time, we'll be talking to parents and even students. You're there and you have done a particular degree, or you're actually doing it at the moment, but you just feel like, this is not for me. And also for parents, how do you deal with children or people who you are taking through and they're going through this situation? Thank you once again for watching this video. Please do engage with us on our social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. We are looking forward to hearing from you guys. The CCO team, CITAM Church Online, is out there to listen to you guys and even to engage with you. Thank you once again, and God bless you.